Hey everybody, it's Dr. Nan at the virtual beach with my little assistant Jilly, and I'm the author of Why Good Sex Matters. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, the 7 lessons that we can learn to foster our sexual potential. And this comes from lessons from people who have navigated some really wonderful territory to get really, really comfortable with their sexuality and enjoy it so big. So today, because I'm a nerd, I'm going to do a PowerPoint on this. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to find the PowerPoint and we're going to launch it and we're going to get this party started. So we're going to talk about what makes people, what the qualities of like really outrageous lovers. So the first thing is not to judge your erotic self or the erotic experience. What does that mean? Practice radical self-acceptance. Allow yourself to be as you are. Allow your feelings, your thoughts, your emotional weather, what's going on in your body, and learn to love your body exactly as it is. That's the number one lesson from my research participants who were brave and courageous and confident enough to come in and donate an orgasm to science. No easy feat, given that the fMRI lab is the least sexy place in the world, and it's really not an easy place to have an orgasm. Become curious about your sexuality and explore what turns you on. Just go beyond into all of your senses, your visual, your touch, your hearing, your taste. Everything and anything that turns you on is wonderful to explore. And learn to embrace your own erotic fingerprint. What does that mean? It's your own sexual libido type. If you want to know more about that, there's an actually wonderful article I wrote for Glamour on my website and in my book. Very, very cool. So for example, some people, it's not sex unless the furniture flies. For other people, it requires like soulful gazing. We're all different. So we can embrace our own libido type. We can let the moment be exactly as it is. And sex is our willingness to be sexual beings, however that shows up. And we're sexual from before birth, where babies prenatally in the womb will play with their genitals. And we can be sexual to the moment we die, however that shows up. Remember, first and foremost, good sex is about being present to what is. It's about being willing to be with your experience and in your experience, which involves tuning in. Shift your focus inward to listen closely to what you want and what your body yearns for. Often when I ask people what's going on in their bodies when they're in my office, they look at me like I'm crazy. They're not in touch with being in the body. That's really, really helpful for sex and also overall emotional wellness, is to be attuned to your body. What are your fantasies? How do you like to be touched? Explore all areas of your body that give you pleasure. My dear friend Beverly Whipple, who named the G-Spot, came up with an extra genital map where you can take a map of your body beyond your genitals and explore what are your favorite zones. And as Beverly recommends, become keenly aware of what pleases you across all the senses. Don't forget about sounds and tastes. And play with the energy. Are you interested in being more active sexually when you tend to be more receptive? Are you interested in laying back and be more receptive when you tend to be active? That's changing it up. Making subtle shifts in habitual roles in and out of the bedroom may reveal new ways that can turn you on. So paying attention to sensations is key for pleasurable sex. I'll even go beyond that. I'll say paying attention to sensations is the key to a good life where you're really present to whatever is. If your mind goes into that spectatoring mode, simply notice that without judgment, letting those thoughts be exactly as they are. while you're bringing your attention back to your senses. And what is the spectatoring mode, you might ask? It's being an observer rather than a participant. When you start observing yourself, you get self-conscious, and where does that end up? Nowhere we really would like to be. So when that happens, tune into your sensations. Be patient. That's a big lesson for those of us in the coronavirus challenge. And this is something we can all bring to our erotic lives. Be patient about getting turned on. When you want to have intercourse, if you do, don't begin until you and your partner are sufficiently aroused. Now, for women, waiting until those clitoral bulbs that surround the vagina are nice and puffy and engorged will make the intercourse so much more pleasurable and comfortable. We rush everything and we need to slow it down, allow the sex to unfold, slow down and savor sensations. Let them build. Enjoy the journey without concern about the destination. Another very big important part is to stay connected to your partner. Now, if you're masturbating, that includes staying present to yourself and connected to yourself and your experience. Often the best way to connect goes beyond words. Simply do what new relationship energy lovers spend tons of time doing: eye gazing. Really look into your partner's eyes and breathe while sitting silently. Let yourself feel your feelings. Don't rush into speaking. Let yourself savor the experience of sitting across and gazing at your loved one. See that person in front of you, the being you fell in love with. This is like Tantra 101, G-rated Tantra. I have a video on that somewhere. Really good for you. It feels good and it's good for you. If you spoon your partner from behind and hold them, synchronize your breath. So as they breathe in, you breathe in. They breathe out, you breathe out. When you do that, you entrain and synchronize your nervous systems. And you can also get fancy with it by trading the breath, which can build sexual energy. Like if you're kissing or you're about to make love, as you exhale, the partner inhales your exhalation. So you're kind of cycling, inhaling the partner's exhalation, exhaling, and letting them inhale. Builds energy. We're like tuning forks that go into cardiac entrainment with our lovers and even our pets. Jilly's sitting right here. So we settle into the connection, and that feels good, and it's good for us, and it can help us build energy with our lovers. Good sex is connected sex. Yay! Take risks. I can't tell you more about this. One of the big issues is people are afraid to really say how they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they're wishing for. If you are hesitant to speak up with your partners about parts of ourselves that we think that they'll judge or worry, or if we're telling them about how we truly feel will hurt them, think again. We tend to play it safe when we're in doubt. But another way of looking at this is there's a big risk to not taking risks. The people who truly cultivate sexual potential in their relationships go to the scary parts of, they reveal their authentic feelings, their fears, their fantasies, their wishes, all of that. And they take that risk. If we don't explore some of the scarier places with our partners, if we don't explore the corners of our erotic selves, we tend to shut down and stagnate, and that's not great for your sex life. Stagnation itself is dangerous to relationship, and sexual potential unfolds when we bring all of ourselves into the mix. All of ourselves. We're always shifting, changing, and growing, and taking the risk to reveal how these changes impact us, our thoughts, our fears, our feelings, our fantasies, tend to revitalize the partnership. And this is true in and out of the bedroom. The best relationships are where people are truly honest with themselves and each other. That's a turn on. That's penetrating your partner's psyche and being penetrated. That's hot. And prioritizing a pleasure. Allow sex to play a larger role in your life. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity to have pleasure. And if you follow the work that we've talked about with those 7 core emotional systems, that will pave the way for more keen awareness and insight into how and why pleasure is so important to your life. So you will allow sex to play a larger role. Any questions about those 7 core wired and emotions, which are seeking, and then the defensive systems, which are fear, rage, panic, grief, the affiliative systems, lust, care, and play, go and read my book. Also, look at the videos that I've created on the core emotions. Make time for sex. Expand your notion of what sex is. Nurture it, explore it. It's a journey without an end. Last but not least, and this is a very important point for all of us, not just about sex, but about life in general, is learning how to tolerate our emotions. Embrace the transformative nature of sex, and sex will stir up all sorts of feelings because of the blend of emotional and physical drivers of sex. Any type of sexual experience can stir things up. One of the most important lessons for good sex and good relationships in general is to learn how to more fully tolerate our feelings, other people's feelings, and our feelings about other people's feelings. If you can really practice that ability to tolerate, and we're going to we actually have videos on listening. Active listening is all about tolerating your feelings as you're really hearing each other. That's the best tool for really transforming our relationship with ourselves and really, really enjoying our relationships with others. And remember this, sometimes the most challenging feelings to tolerate are intense feelings of pleasure, which for some can feel scarily out of control. We think we're afraid of telling people the truth because it's going to hurt their feelings. I really have come to the realization that people are afraid of feeling the out of control joy of really being open and honest with themselves and each other, and never mind the place of erotic expansion into, just incredible pleasure with a partner where we can feel scarily out of control. But, the illusion of control is highly overrated. When we simply learn to allow our feelings to be as they are, stay present to ourselves and each other, the experiences we have with and through sex can be truly healing, revitalizing mind, body, and spirit. So those are the 7 lessons, and I hope you enjoyed them. And I'll be back with more things very, very, very soon. So everybody from my virtual beach, which is really my little office in West Orange during coronavirus lockdown, let's make this a time for transformation. So we'll be back with more cool stuff. Bye. And